Maria Callas was not just an opera singer. She was a force of nature. Her voice, often described as hauntingly powerful and emotionally raw, revolutionized opera and cemented her as one of the greatest sopranos in history. But Callas's greatness was not simply the result of talent. It was forged in hardship, relentless discipline, and an unyielding drive to overcome every obstacle thrown her way. From childhood struggles to brutal criticism, betrayal, and heartbreak, Callas embodied the Spartan mindset, turning every wound into a weapon and every failure into fuel for greatness. Born in 1923 in New York City to Greek immigrant parents, Callas' early life was marked by struggle. Her mother, disappointed that Maria wasn't a boy, pushed her into music with little affection. She was forced into rigorous piano lessons and singing practice from a young age, and any sign of weakness was met with harsh reprimand. While many might have crumbled under such pressure, Callas absorbed it, hardening her spirit like the warriors of ancient Sparta. Her natural talent was evident, but it was her discipline and willingness to endure pain that would ultimately set her apart. When her family moved back to Greece during the Great Depression, Callas continued her studies at the Athens Conservatoire. However, her appearance and weight were constant sources of ridicule. She was mocked as being too fat and too clumsy for a career in opera. Audiences weren't always kind either. In one of her early performances, it is frequently cited that she said, "When my enemies stop hissing, I shall know I'm slipping." While this quote, often attributed to her, chimes with her perceived character and unshakable defiance, its authenticity cannot be fully verified. Regardless of whether she spoke those exact words, the sentiment is undeniable. Callas used rejection and hostility as motivation. Instead of retreating, she trained harder, refined her voice, and built herself into a performer so commanding that no one could ignore her. Callas's discipline extended beyond vocal training. She undertook one of the most dramatic physical transformations in opera history. In the late 1940s, she lost over 80 pounds, completely changing her appearance. While this made her more marketable, it came at a cost. Many believe it altered her voice, making it more fragile over time. But Callas knew that opera was not just about sound. It was about presence, charisma, and raw emotion. She embraced the challenge, creating a dramatic stage persona that captivated audiences worldwide. Her rise to operatic dominance was meteoric. She mastered roles that others wouldn't dare attempt, interpreting characters with such intensity that she blurred the line between performance and reality. Whether it was the tragic Violetta in La Traviata or the fierce Medea, Callas didn't just sing the roles, she lived them. The emotional depth of her performances was unparalleled, and fans and critics alike referred to her as La Divina, the Divine One. But like many warriors, Callas's greatest battles were not just fought on stage. They were deeply personal. Her relationship with Aristotle Onassis, one of the most powerful and ruthless businessmen of the 20th century, became a defining chapter in her life. At the height of her fame, Callas met Onassis, and their affair quickly became one of the most scandalous of the era. She left her husband for him, believing he was her great, great love, only to be humiliated in the most public way imaginable when he married Jacqueline Kennedy. Onassis treated Callas with a coldness that contrasted sharply with her passion. He saw relationships as transactions, whereas she, despite her Spartan resilience, still craved love and loyalty. His betrayal devastated her, but true to her nature, Callas did not let heartbreak define her legacy. Instead, she withdrew from the public eye with dignity, refusing to let scandal overshadow the artistic empire she had built. Like a fallen warrior who refuses to beg for mercy, she accepted her wounds in silence and carried on. In her later years, Callas's voice began to falter, a reality that must have been agonizing for someone who had given everything to her craft. The opera world can be merciless, and many turned on her the moment she showed vulnerability. Still, she never sought pity. Even as her performances grew less frequent, her influence remained unshaken. Callas had not just sung opera, she had redefined it. She had inspired generations of singers, proving that perfection was not about technical flawlessness, but about the ability to move an audience, to make them feel something real. Maria Callas' story is one of triumph through suffering, of resilience in the face of relentless criticism, and of a refusal to be anything less than extraordinary. She was not born a legend. She became one through sheer will, discipline, and unbreakable spirit. Like the Spartans who trained their entire lives for battle, Callas trained every day for the stage, knowing that the world would judge her harshly if she faltered. And yet, she never backed down. Order the Spartan Mindset today and take the first step toward becoming the leader your world needs. Let your struggles forge you into a warrior of character and resolve. The Spartan Mindset provides all this and more in an original, comprehensive, and actionable guide. Available now for just $19.99. Buy your copy from the links in the description box below and on this channel's homepage. Because your future begins with the right mindset. The Spartan Mindset.